the moment they are facing off against Caliente on the other side, who could, by the analysts' thoughts, take a few games off of them. Let's hope it's not enough to win the series, and Dignitas can cruise on through as they keep the battle against GK alive.
Dignitas did well in the groups, but they are going to need to continue that effort through against a Caliente side that will not be going down without a fight. Game 1 is brought to you by Progressive, and this series Shogun has got quite a few major implications, or at least it continues the major storyline in favor of Dig and against their adversaries.
Yeah, for Dignitas is now all pressure on them. Everyone else that is in contention for the major has done their job by staying at least alive in the tournament. But there's really the argument to say 5 teams should be going, 4 teams will be going. Dignitas a loss here. Major dent to their hopes. Oh, and this
Hello, Jorius. Sorry, for some reason in my head I had that completely backwards. I thought Stizzy had just gone back to the first week of games type defense and thought I completely flipped away from the ball. Instead, it was Jorius going through with a completely open net only 10 seconds after kickoff.
Yeah, really needed to be a little bit more clinical there from Charlie. He just went over to it. He kind of went to a thought of, I can hit this on target, I can infield it, and he ended up finding that middle ground where it was a little bit too easy for Dignitas. That's going to be the main thing here. We've already seen from the previous series, you can knock these top teams into a bit of a worrisome state if you take the game to them. But you've got to do that, and you've got to find some success early just to get that worry creeping in.
Great touch from Stizzy. Just take it down low into the opposition's box. And it's going to want Dignitas to try and control this series. I think we're going to see a little bit more of a shaken Caliente in the sense that they don't necessarily make it to these points. Dignitas, as everybody is well aware, and if you're not, welcome to RLCS, are one of our premier teams here in Europe, and they have gone through to the major over in Birmingham. They are looking likely to go through to the major in Raleigh.
Oh, dear.
They made it through to top 4s, and they have made it through the defense of Caliente yet again.
Okay, so let's pick the different things here that have gone wrong for Sizen. He's backwards, he's got 2 players near to him, and he doesn't stand a chance. 3 different things that he really could have done without in that situation.
Yeah, not the one for a defender there, but it was well played by Dignitas, making sure that they're going to be the team that, as ever, are going to be keeping as much pressure on their opposition as they can. That's what they did very well against NIP when we looked at them earlier on. And Stizzy, a lovely fake, a nice shot low from Jorius. Jack sees the bottom corner, absolutely tings it off the post. And that's going to be, I think, just one escape for Caliente.
Caliente needs to wake up here. They are sitting around waiting for Dignitas to play. It's like that first play that went against them really rattled their confidence. They know what they can do. First time really reaching this point in the season. But they've got to start being aggressive again. They've got to start instant challenging. Can't allow a team like Dignitas just to have the ball for free. This is much better. Backboard. I'll play there from Stizzy, but he is low boost, and Jorius has to clean the lines.
Strength of schedule for these teams has been not necessarily comparable across the board. We saw Dignitas go through, and they firstly lost against Forward. They lost 3-1, and then they managed to beat Smoky Bacon Association at Winston, and they also beat Ninjas in Pajamas 3-1 as well. So 3-1 across the board for them in the day. And Caliente, then 3-1 over Dopamine, and then lost 3-1 to Vitality. That one is a great result for them. You've got to be impressed with that. And then 3-2 versus $8. And that one, they managed to pick up the 2 games right towards the end as well, just by 1 goal apiece in each of them. So they've got a clutch moment or 2 in them, Shogun. I'm sure they wouldn't like for it to always be clutch, as apparently Jack makes things look beautiful in the orange half.
I mean, this is really dominant at the moment from Dignitas. It's exactly what their fans would like to see. And look at this from Jack. Realize
that could have just been a shot.
If he takes the instant shot, I think it's saved. So he just opens up the angle for himself, makes it more difficult to read, and forces the pre-jump. So right now, Dignitas are they're not playing down at the moment. They've got their own pace, and this is something that it can be very difficult to do on occasion. I do not doubt that Caliente can now go up to this level, but I think they need to find some more success with the first man. Right now, every play is happening for free, and everyone is getting at least 2 players out for 1 outplay.
Yeah, I think a lot of these plays too is when it does call in one of the players from Caliente, they're sort of putting a body forward, but they're not necessarily putting a hand up, if that makes sense. They're not really being as present as they could be. That's great aggression from Charlington Barlington. Does keep Abstract off the pitch. Stizzy forced it up to that top corner, and a bump going to be keeping Charlie B a little bit away from the play. Stizzy just wide of target, and Sizen can work his way back. Only 100 seconds a lot of work to do for Caliente.
And we did see in the previous series that just because you start off well doesn't necessarily mean that the next game is quite as good. That'll at least be the hopium here for Caliente. It's still have time to make something from this. Charlie was hoping that that would get beyond, but Dignitas defense, they've not put a foot in this entire game. They've really played well here. That's what they need, because I don't think Dignitas they'll be happy that they have been as consistent as they have been, but it's also been a bit of a double-sided sword of, yeah, we've been consistent, but we've been consistently not threatening for championships.
Yeah, I think as well with Dignitas, when you look towards that roster Abjack as that primary man, as the captain, as, you know, with their coach as well with Violent Panda, you look at the major champions, world champions, they've got the ideas of what they need to make sure they can excel. They did manage to get through previously over towards that major, as we were saying. I think they're just waiting for a little bit more success when it comes to international play, because I still feel like we didn't necessarily see the best of Dignitas when they went to the major, and I think, you know, they're not exactly going to shy away from it either. They're very honest with themselves. Yeah,
that's been just a touch of a recurring theme recently, especially for Jack. Well, last season really was just not
extremely poor. Yeah, and competing in NA at that point as well. The worst result we saw from the entire season for a team that was already broken up as well. Yeah, because it's probably quite hard at that point to put your all into it when the team is already dead.
Final few moments. This one more for the road. And Jack picked himself 1 point away from 500 points in the game. Caliente, I mean, they've got 5 saves to Sizen. That's where the good news ends, really. It needs a whole refresh as we go into our second game. Hop into the last few moments. I think this is pre-jump, that one. Okay, yeah, well, we understand where they feel this one is. For Caliente, especially for Charlie, I think Charlie was sort of the player brought up before this game started. I had a look into this. This is not only like his first top 8 of the season, it's the first event he's qualified for this season. Wow. Ends up being the very first goal for them of the entire series, so let's see what Caliente have got here in game number 2.
You said about them being rattled as well, and I think normally, honestly, I'd completely agree, apart from this one piece of evidence that I think goes against that, and it was yesterday's games, where Joriers, and I was joking with Cole on our broadcast, he was spectating. I was saying, Cole, to give NIP the advantage here, you need to type in chat, that goal was Joriers' fault, to be honest, right? I was saying you need to try and till him out and just be really toxic. Obviously he didn't, we value competitive integrity, but Joriers did have a couple of shocking moments, and, you know, every now and then he would let a ball completely fly past and there'd be a problem, and that's the kind of player that would tilt. Yesterday, maybe I'm just trying to extrapolate here and get something, but the vibe that I got was that Joriers felt a lot more unshakable. He felt a lot more solid in the way that he was playing, even after an error. And as, you know, a neutral and on a Saturday, Sunday RLCS caster hat being put on, what a pleasure to see, because he really is a spectacular player. He just normally gets let down by having a couple of those demons sit on his shoulder.
Yeah, some of the shine did come off, especially last season, with just sort of how unfortunate that went for him. But a lot of his reputation has been a little bit harsh, results-based, maybe not performance-based. Stizzy does go for the bump. Charlie gets out of the way. Here comes Sizen. Saki is the option, goes for it. Best chance they've had, and it's right into the path of Abjack. Need to try and find the corners for those, but this is the best continued pressure they've had. There's the issue. When that play takes too long, another player is coming for a demo, and your third man's gone. Just looks like it takes away the play.
And a lot better of a start, however, for Caliente as Charlie B versus Stizzy onto the backboard. Charlie B can't quite dunk it as Stizzy does get both touches first. Charlie B now takes out all of that anger on apparently Jack. Sizen takes it not quite over one, Stizzy can carry it to the backboard, but Jack takes up that time and space with no boost, giving Caliente a little bit of an entry here. It's up high in the middle, and Joriers has to arc his back right back around that ball, does do so, and it gives a very brief moment of reprise for the Dignitas defense.
Caliente going to have to be very, very patient with this. Once you've got Dignitas back in defense, it's very difficult to dislodge them. As Jack, 0 boost. No, does not know that, so backs away at least for now. Oh, it's a misplay, Charlie. Oh, you would have seen his life flash before his eyes, but he can't remain, and so does the scoreline.
I mean, I think that was Jack just thinking, he's probably jumping here, right? Little did he know, Charlie had no boost. He was at the absolute mercy of wherever that ball ended up going. And thankfully, it was into his passenger side door. A flip reset from Stizzy, unable to come through. He now wipes out a fellow defender. Jack comes in, a little 50, and Charlie again, stoic on the goal line.
That's just straight out into Pavajorius, but no, Saki able to keep that one moving. Needs to stay behind the ball, especially when you're on a low boost like this. Saki just makes a change. Oh, it was the mistake! It wasn't the right decision! Noah Saki ran the fake!
It's a great play from Noah. Gets it over one and can then instantly jump, use the final little trickling amount of boost in his tank, and sends the defender flying. Caliente, a shock lead in game 2.
I'm talking about Jorius earlier on. Well, this is one that he needs to step up on here. He's got 50 points. Really has not had an opportunity to really let himself be seen as he realizes quite handily beats that ball. Again, Nosaki, 0 boost. Trying to make something work. Stizzy over in front of the goal line. So far, so good. It's exactly what we said, Stumpy. Game 1 can be a blowout, but how often do we see in this esport that what looks like it should just be an easy blowout suddenly just doesn't look the same 5 minutes later?
Yeah, I mean, this is also a different side of Caliente than that we're seeing. It's a lot more aggressive. They're making sure they aren't necessarily respecting every touch that Dignitas have. It's great plays from as well, from Sizen. Any touch that I feel Dignitas are starting to get out of their own area and from their own blue half, it's being shut down now a lot sooner. And that's what you were saying as well, that you wanted from them, is making sure that you aren't being, you're not being the second team to that ball time and time again. Stizzy shines away from that one as Jorius actually comes in on the attack instead. And as you said, a little bit more needed from Jorius here.
I think the big thing for me here from Caliente is they've actually simplified it quite significantly. The last game, every time they were on the ball, it was like they were trying to figure out, all right, I need to do a 9 out of 10 play at least to get this past somebody. No, in this one, they're like, all right, I'm on 20 boost, I'll just take a low 50. Guess what? It works. You don't have to be a mechanical genius to get a low 50 to get at least a one for one. Size a bit awkward, but one's not going to dip down just in time. So difficult once the team gets into defense. Charlie already up, tries to fake it. Stizzy at least have the read. 20 seconds. And actually, Caliente needs to make sure they're very careful here, because now the game's opening up.
2 gone. 2 of them just went for that ball as well, leaving it open at the back. Jory is up high. Jack will be up next. He shoots. It's over. Apparently, Jack, that has to go in.
So they got one more chance here. Stizzy gonna keep going. Look to the 50. And well played underneath. Charlie still can't get it. Is it gonna go away? Yes, it is. Caliente. Well, forced to breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief.
2 players on Dignitas were playing, and it's a little bit of chicken and the egg situation. Jack and Stizzy played a lot closer to the ball, and they also generally used a lot more boost than Jorius. But is that because Jorius wasn't coming in, or did he end up getting squoze out in that game? It's something that Dignitas need to consider. They need to make sure that all 3 players are getting towards the ball, but it's hard to really pinpoint where exactly that ends up starting. So time for them as all 3 go for the defense.
It tends to feed into itself, isn't it? We've all been there, where you just go, I'm not going because you're ball chasing, and then the other person says, I'm ball chasing because you're not going.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm sure they'll have a chat about that and get that figured out.
Yeah.
Jorius on the ball now, couldn't quite find the 50. That has been the big thing here for Caliente. The 50s have been so much better from them.
Yeah, I mean, game 1, they were almost scared to. Like, they were kind of worried, like, oh, it's Jack, oh, it's Jorius, But now it's like, yeah, cool, we can take the 50. We can be strong enough off the crossbar. A cling-clang. Noah Saki can clear it away. Jorius now tries to clear the defense himself. Charlie B. It's a nice touch. No one's up for it. Stizzy is. And that is how you sink a double.
Yeah, that's finally caught them a little bit napping. Charlie went up and just pops it straight over to Stizzy. Nobody's got any boost to react, so a little bit more forgivable that nobody was there to meet him. You just have to be so careful, because as much as the offensive team Dignitas is trying to win the ball, it's usually better for them just to lose it a little bit and just pop it to the 3rd man.
The defense needs to try not to overcomplicate things. You were celebrating them earlier on for how simple they were playing. And I completely agree. That's definitely where they ended up getting a lot more play, going their way. It was a lot more impressive in that sense. They need to make sure they stick to those fundamentals and make sure they also stay aggressive. Jack tries to work it round. Charlie B. Clear it away. Sizen now sees the keeper napping. Heat checks Jorius, and Jorius responds with a little bit of heat of his own.
I think that's better than from Sizen. A lot of their issues with that first goal came from the fact that he tried to control the ball backwards and was just swarmed instantly. Give a couple of power shots out there, let them know that you can do it, and that will give you some space in the future. Oh, who's Izzy? I don't know how much of that was fake and how much of that was realizing the first touch was too far away. Noah Snaki tried for a pre-jump. All right, we'll talk about overcomplicated.
Yeah, we don't need
That's
that,
a touch overcomplicated.
Yeah, it's going to look lovely if you can make connection, but Noah, you are going the wrong way up the pitch and still going to tackle your teammates. So give them a little bit of breathing room. They've been doing very well so far. Noah now towards that backboard. And Noah, a player that I have wanted to reach the upper echelons of Rocket League for a long old while. We did back in the day, Shogun, the announcement video for that team for Resolve when Noah Saki was on there, and it was wonderful. He's never really figured out how to get to the top percentages that I know for a fact he can reach. But it does get a little bit harder to do so as this game moves on.
Yeah, there's been a couple of English players especially that it feels have been stuck at a certain level for a long time. I mean, even in the previous series that we had, Growly, it kind of peaked with Hogan modes, and then you were hoping for, all right, what's the next big thing? And just never quite got there. It's a difficult spot to get through. Jack's really been that main player that has managed to do so. What a shot!
Oh!
What a save! Jack, that was disgusting!
Goodness gracious, I thought that one was immediately in. Instead, it comes down to a wondrous save from Jack. It was great power too from Noah. Wonderful placement. Honestly, both players did the perfect job.
Yeah, that is brilliant Rocket League right there. Charlie already up, popped it too high for somebody with zero boost. And this is where the issues start to begin. Caliente, they're all low, they need a way out, and they found it. Sizen pops up exactly when he's needed. Jorius on the reset. Got everybody trekking back to 50. He's been saying that for so long, and there is the result.
End-to-end carry as well. The reset, the insta-pop as well. Runs out a boost. He will slam his big Dutch head straight into whoever finds themselves unlucky enough to be in his way. 90 seconds remaining, and Dignitas double their lead.
I'll tell you what, for somebody that was so quiet in the last game,
again!
In the third, Jorius, where was this in game 2?
I tell you what, if you average out his points from this game and the last game, you'd look at 2 all-right games. Instead, it's been a standout and a sit-down match from him.
I mean, this is ridiculous. That's right back to where they needed to be. And you can, if they can keep this going, then you just put that one game aside and say, okay, those happen. As Jack is in so much trouble over here. Able to, at least with the pre-jump, slow everything up. Caliente, they need a goal and they need it soon. Jorius by himself, but there's nobody near him, so it's easy half-volley
Good
clear.
bang, yeah. Sizen tends to bang it straight back. Jack wants to find Jorius. Does get intercepted, so Stizzy has to go up first. Although this game started pretty well, Caliente have not started to fall off, but they've not necessarily kept up the pace. And part of that is because Jorius is now coming to play a lot more. Either he's forcing his way in a little bit more, or his teammates are letting him in. Again, chicken and egg kind of situation. It's 45 seconds, and Caliente still do not have an answer.
It's something that we don't really know if we just sat on one POV for a little while, which we'll do actually very soon. Stizzy looking for that 50. Oh, bit of a mystery there from Jack, but shot off target.
Good pressure though right now for Caliente.
Yeah, I mean, Caliente, when they play compact and they play 50s.
Oh, that's such a shame.
You know whose fault that is, Stumpy, and I think you owe them an apology.
Yeah, sorry, fellas. No, never mind. I want to give it all over to Noah Saki for missing that ball in the midfield. Yeah, very unforced error there. The game was already won by Dignitas, but it's not going to be a feel-good goal back for anybody on the pitch. 4-0 Dig, game 3, going very handily there.
Stizzy, the challenge. Stizzy has found himself quite comfortable after what was a very rough opening tournament for himself. But since then, it's kind of been put to the back of the mind. No one really worries about that anymore. Oh my goodness. I'm not worried about Dig at the moment either. That game 2, a couple of worries. Actually, I mean, this answers so many questions as well, because we were saying, you know, maybe you can wobble them. They don't look very wobbled to me.
That's what I mean. Honestly, their mentality, I've been so impressed with it in the last, obviously, especially yesterday, you know, going forward as well.
It's all over.
Oh, big wobble. Oh, they're going to wobble. Are they going to fall down? No, I mean, I think with Dignitas overall, their mentality has been fantastic. The way that they managed to get through the Birmingham Major as well, they were just consistent and good in Europe, which I think is two things that are normally on opposite sides of the spectrum. They managed to make sure that they are sitting very comfortably and achieving both of them. Game 3, 5-1, after it's pretty close for a little while, going the way of Dignitas. And I think Caliente need to look for...
Dignitas' fan just screaming at you. Yes, I know. It's been a whole season. We know what we can do. We just don't do it that often.
And, it comes down to Dignitas. How are they going to be playing here in the Coliseum? One team hopefully escaping unscathed as both teams go for the double fake kickoff. And Dignitas will be the benefactors.
All right, double fake I think is a great idea. Is that double fake? No, Charlie B is trying to like catch that. So it's one team's faking, the other team tries to play with the second man.
Oh, I thought both
out to the
teams
side.
faked it.
Now I do feel if you are going to do that, I'm going to sound very Johnny Boy here, but if you're going to do that, third man has to turn in. The idea that you're going to go, okay, but if they do anything that isn't just hit the ball directly at us, we're absolutely out of this. So, good idea, but...
Optimistic idea.
I feel like there was a 50% chance of that working and a 50% chance of that going straight in your net.
Mate, honestly, when I'm playing ranked, I take those odds.
Mate, your version of fake kickoff just means that you got the wrong flip and they've made it our problem.
Yeah, but then it's not my problem. Because I've gone for the kickoff and I've missed. That ball is nowhere near me. Thank you very much.
Well, for Dignitas, they'll be happy to see that the ball is now no longer near their side of the field, or at least temporarily. Here comes Charlie. Oh, he's got the follow. He gave it a go. Good demo. Net. And there's Noasaki.
Excellent play across the board of Caliente. Everyone has their jobs and everyone reads it perfectly. The demo on the goal line as well from that third man from Sizen. It's great play because I think Joris is looking at Charlie B thinking, when's he getting this touch? I need to cover this touch. And for that, he has to stay so stationary on the goal line. Very well read by the attacking players. Caliente, they bring themselves level with only a minute gone, and they're looking better already than they did in game number 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point that you bring up as well of just the ball cam is on. He can't see you.
Yeah.
He can sense that you're on the way. You can probably hear the boost, but doesn't mean that it makes his life any easier. As Charlie does end up just whiffing on the ball, so Jack's got a bit of time. Straight into the path of Sizen, who maybe was arriving a little bit too early, so just clings it straight into the ceiling.
Holy nearly.
He's getting so close on these at the moment.
I mean, you see as well there, Stizzy, I think just ends up holding and waiting and seeing what Charlie B does. And Charlie B just floats. He makes that attack a lot more awkward. Stizzy has to go for a weird outplay, hence the Mussy ends up finding his way through. And apparently Jack finds his way through the midfield. Zero boost, Noasaki has to dive in, knows that Jack wants that corner. Sizen to the backboard, has to get close to this. As both Stizzy and Joris both fake it, but the defense wasn't reading it.
I love watching Jack try and like get out of defense because it's usually just zero mechanics. I'm going to drive in awkward positions and dare you to take the 50. And it works. He doesn't have to overcomplicate it. Now we go for Joris, and he's... Oh, what a flick!
He's caught him napping. I think he just punts it, doesn't he? He catches there, and then just immediately just sees the third man diving in. Noasaki's thinking, brother, I've got no boost. Please don't go. You've gone. You've gone. Yeah. All right, cool, excellent, sick.
Yeah, I think Noasaki sat there hoping, Charlie's challenge actually was threatening, but Joris just spotted the angle and went, well, no, you don't have that. Just set himself up, brilliant flick after the fact, and reestablishes the lead, and it might be about to get worse. He's on the way.
As the defender here, you are floating in the ever hell where you can't move. Look at Noah's like, oh, that's in. That's a shame. And he has to watch Dizzy approach, has to watch him toe punt it across the line. 2 goals to the good for Dig.
Yeah, that's a complete miscommunication there from Caliente. I think one or the other. Noah's on his way in from back post, so maybe he could have just left that, wait for the ball to come to him. Sizen gets a decent 50, but the follow would have wanted to be from Noah, and Noah's on 0. Charlie's missed the ball. It's all kind of falling apart here. As Jack straight to Joris, who is getting close to another 500-point game. He's already got the hat trick. What is it? Like, did Joris just take a bit of time to charge up and then rev?
I mean, he's like an engine, you know. He's getting going. He had to get warmed up in game 1. Had a little bit of a... He stalled. There you go. He stalled in game 2. Game 3, oh, he's right back at it, baby. And then game 4, he just continues.
Good win there from Jack. And Charlie, yeah, he can't challenge that, otherwise it's going to be a complete crush against him. Charlie, desperate for Stizzy to come on in. Stizzy just keeps staring at him. Oh, what a challenge, though. Stizzy, again, takes it back under control. First time, actually, he's played a little bit too early, but even then, Caliente getting their own way. Here comes Jack. We're getting towards the sort of territory here, Stumpy, where time is very much the enemy of Caliente.
I mean, I think Dignitas, they're making a close call for that. Jack with a 0 boost, in and out save. And then the dunk. Jory's up. Can he beat Noah? He does touch it down. Sizen's going to be there, but gets tangled up with Charlie B. So the extended play from a Dignitas makes it a lot more awkward. The Caliente, they've not been able to work out their own half for a little while now, and that is so much time and space. And Dignitas can just use it to burn off a couple more seconds from the clock.
There's no Saki, again, 0 boost. Nice little pop on, but Joris is already back. Third man positioning here from Dignitas has been on point, although that is a bit of a time to get dunked. How do you work this into a goal-scoring chance? Pass to the backboard, nice read from Sizen. They need a goal, and they need it now, and, well, that is going to waste even more time. Oh, dear.
It's just, what annoys a team most is the nonsense play that you can put forward as an attacking team. And sometimes not even in their half. It's just, cool, I'll take it back. I'll take my time. Jack here, take it up the wall. He's going to stay close to this ball as well. He's not going to make that easy. Cool, now just go straight to Stizzy. The time wasting from Dig has been pretty sublime across the board. And it has been really hard for Caliente to work out of their own half, because whilst they're wasting time, they're using boost, they're taking it, they're stealing big boosts from the opposition, and then they're keeping it going. And any nonsense touch they can make, they have been doing so. Dignitas at game number 4 going their way, and Caliente can only get 1 in response.
Yeah, this has just been a massive pace difference in this game. Caliente are really having to chase it at the moment, and Dignitas happy to be the lead team. Nosaki has again left again. I think Nosaki is letting
Off you.
Maybe
that's what they need. Get it in the blue half. Just send it.
Let's get into game number 5. The kickoff strategy is still coming through here from Dignitas. They do take control of the ball and a demo as well. So it leaves the option open here for Jorius to play the ball out. Oh, actually, that's a huge crushing win here. Sizen looks to set up and it's a bit too fast.
Yeah, too much beans on that one. Couldn't quite sneak it central for his 2 English teammates. Couldn't put it on toast as Jorius heads up, flicks a Shogun. You said monstrous flick earlier. That is a flick of his dreams.
That was vicious. There was anger and hatred in that one. Honestly, you try and save that flick, your card's getting demoed and it's still going in. That was lethal. He's up again. I'll tell you what. Next time Joris has a bad game, I'm worried for their opponents because he's a different level at the moment.
I mean, he's on Aquadome. We're submerged, and he is still firing as hot as ever. Noah Saki on target, and Jory is that key man. Now being the first to keep it away. Jack works at round 1, but does get sent to the scrapyard as Charlie B has managed to get him rid. Sizen at the back. And we've seen this a couple of times. 1 goal comes in, and then we might see Caliente get an equalizer, hold it close, and then we'll see maybe 3 by the end of the game. That has been the story of this series so far, apart from that mystifying game 2.
I remember watching a little bit of this from Caliente's POV, and it seemed like the most frustrating thing ever, which is Dignitas just give up midfield pressure on occasion. There's sometimes Caliente will try and clear their lines, power the ball along, and they're like, okay, we got through, and also we might be able to beat the third. Oh, the third man's actually just playing back corner and gone up the wall. And it's taken so much time. We have to send somebody now, rather than the ball coming to us. Like, Dignitas are so frustrating when they're in the lead. And they're still so dangerous.
I was going to say, that's exactly what Dig want as well. They want you to think, oh, okay, we have time now. And then they're going to send it, be awkward. Charlie B can guide that one home. And that is where Dignitas' game plan can be awkward. You look at the positioning. Jack dives in so aggressively. He's third man, but he's positioned on the halfway line. The idea is to then have that ball be punted high, then he can carry it onto the backboard, then play it from there. Instead, Caliente, they play it low, and they play their game, not Dignitas's.
Yeah, Jack just had a slight misread on who was actually around. I think he had full eyes on the ball, did not realize Noasaki was also on his way in. Just got a little bit surprised by that one. So 3 minutes. Again, Caliente start well. It's just getting that next bit up. Here's Charlie. He's not going to continue. He's bumped out of the air. Noasaki's waiting for his chance. If I'm Caliente, the moment I see Jorius on the ball, I am instantly challenging. Even then, it still might not work. But don't give that guy time at the moment. There's Noasaki. Noasaki is permanently 0 boost. Every time I've seen him, he's just on nothing. He's still on nothing. No, there's none over there, mate. He's going to have to play the ball with, well, at least for a 50. Oh, the backboard. Jorius. Oh, we can't get there.
Oh! I mean, Jorius made that a lot harder for Stiz than it had to be. Is now trying to cover him again. Jory I mean, he made it maybe a little 1% harder for Caliente offender. But in the end, that comes down to Stizzy making a great play on a relatively simple shot to save. But right place, right time at the end of the day. Jack flicks it over, or gets it 1/1, flicks over 2. Charlie B is going to be holding it strong on the back. That's Stizzy's chance to do a long game of play. Jack's going to whip himself back in. Harasses Charlie B. And the whizzing of the engine, the mosquito of apparently Jack, is going to be delivering a stinger into Caliente's side.
Oh, that's so horrible for Charlie B, because I think if he commits the first time he went there, he actually would have been completely fine. Stizzy plays it, reading the fake. And because Charlie B faked it, it meant that he was in all hosts of trouble. 1 goal down. They've now got to find this with just over 100 seconds left.
Noasaki to try and push that on through, apparently Jack, who works it around a second again. Every time he's on the ball, he's beating 2 players to it. And nobody is forward. Nobody is challenging Caliente, or rather, Caliente aren't challenging Dignitas on that. Sizer now finally has to come in. But both Charlie B and Noasaki sitting on their own goal line. Jack resets it, finds Noah, Stizzy. It's another goal with full aggression.
I mean, they're just sitting here waiting to see what Dignitas are going to do, and Dignitas are happy to show them. Noasaki tried to get there, bumped. Charlie tried to get there, not close. 3-1. Dignitas' offense has been brilliant today.
I think it's been multifaceted as well. They haven't just been trying to... They've not just been spamming one thing. They've not just been going for a solo play or a double tap, whatever it is. They've been doing everything in their power on and off the ball. It has been a smorgasbord of aggression in Rocket League. And Caliente, they've come to the feast and they have only found famine.
Stizzy fakes that he might be turning for it. Nice play over the top. There's 2 players committed. He's going to got there. That would have been yet another one available there for Dig, who not exactly needing any more goals here. 45 seconds. Sizen's on 0. Naosaki and Charlie B all the way at the back. They need something here. They've gone for the huge hit, the old Sad Junior. That's not quite worked, but it's got them into a good spot.
Final 30. 2 still to bring back for Caliente. Jack can intercept. Also Sizen to backflip. That's inside of the post. Onto the nose of apparently Jack. It's another relative drubbing in favor of Dig and Caliente. It was a good effort. It was nice to have you fellas, but Dig will be moving on to the lower quarters.
Yeah, it's a faster tempo for Dignitas. They can react quicker. They know exactly what they're trying for. It's been a little bit overreactive for Caliente, and unfortunately they are always going to be a step behind when that's been the case. Nice little demo, maybe a chance to create something. I think that was going to be a wide anyway, but Jorius just making sure of it. Maybe one more. They scored one last time. Oh, Stizzy, look what they're reading. They managed to recover this. But Dignitas, they've done the job. They've done it well. They move on.
And we now scored their opponent 17 goals to 4. It was a very much in favor of Dignitas in that series. We'll see it as a 4-1.